Alright, let's talk about modules and styling our modules. There are 5 different ways to style a module. Style equals table, which you'll never use. Style equals XHTML, gives a single simple div wrapping around the module. Style equals rounded. 4 divs are wrapped around the module so you're able to create rounded corners. Style equals none, so there's no surrounding divs or tables at all, just the raw module output. If you use this, or if you leave this off, as we'll see in a minute, titles won't show up even if you've got them turned on. And then lastly, style equals outline, which outlines the module area with the name of the module area at the top, and it's really not useful for anything. The 3 that you'll use most often are XHTML, rounded, and none. So let's take a look at those 3 specifically. Right now in our index.php, we have no styling at all. So let's change this one to style equals none. Let's change left to style. Let's change the left one to style equals XHTML. And let's take the right one to rounded. Now we don't have any of this set up in our CSS, and that's okay. We'll just take a look at what it can do. So first off, right now we have style equals none here at the top, style equals XHTML here, and style equals rounded, but we haven't hit refresh yet. So let's go ahead and do that. Now we see some changes. No change to the top, but now the left and the right both show their titles. When you have style equals none or no style at all, titles can't be shown in our module positions. So you're almost always going to use either XHTML or rounded. Those are the 2 that I use most often. XHTML puts one div around each module in the left position. And so from here I can really do some neat things. If I come back over to my main menu, I notice that in the module class suffix there's nothing there. So let's just say I make that into blue. This isn't going to change anything yet because I haven't styled this. Let's take a look and see what Joomla does for us here. XHTML wraps this in a div and calls it module table -blue. Notice that the other menus are module table _menu. Now, here's one of the things. You should probably choose between underscore or dashes. Just keep it consistent, whatever you decide to do. So now if I go over to my CSS and I create a new style called module table -blue, and I put in a background color of, say, green, which will really look nice, and come back over, hit refresh, now I have my main menu with a green background as opposed to all of the others. So this is really powerful. XHTML gives you the opportunity then to start restyling any module in a module position. Really helpful, strongly recommended. Here's another thing you can do. Notice that all of our links in the left position are basically the same as links anywhere else. But what if we wanted different colored links just in the left module position? I can put in the following CSS. Number left, a link, a visited, color is gray, hover is a dark gray. So let's go take a look at what that looks like now. Hit refresh, and now our links are gray. I know it's not pretty yet. We'll get there. But the background when I hover is a dark gray. So again, it gives you the opportunity to make all of this really specified for each area of your site. What if I wanted this for the left, but I wanted it different for my module table blue? Well, module table blue. I'm just going to copy and paste this. Remember, copying and pasting is your friend. And now I'm going to change that to white, and I'm going to hover the background as yellow. I can use some words here, and there are particular words you can use. I recommend that you usually just go and get the actual ASCII value there. But let's hit refresh. Nothing happens. Let me point something out here. This isn't going to work. And here's why. And it's partly why we call it cascading style sheets. A style that occurs later in your CSS than a previous style overwrites that previous style. So although I've got module table -blue and I've defined the link colors here, this overwrites this because it comes later in my CSS. Well, let's go take a look at what I mean by this. If I hit refresh, my links are still the same. And even though I have a module table dash blue here, you'll note the later line in the CSS overwrites my previous line. So this is really simple to fix. We just copy, paste, save, refresh, and now you'll notice that my CSS is correct. Well, it's what I want for now. And the later line overwrites the earlier line. Really powerful stuff when it comes to CSS. Another option here is to raise the size of my title. I can do this, dot module table h3, font size 150%, hit refresh. Now you'll notice that my main menu title is larger than a normal h3. So again, this is true across the board. Very fun, very cool to do. You'll be able to change virtually any aspect through these kinds of template changes in the module positions. That's style equals XHTML. Let's talk about style equals rounded. When a style is rounded, Joomla puts a series of divs around your module, gives you the opportunity to put different backgrounds in with rounded corners. So let's take a look at what that looks like when we do the CSS the proper way. I'm going to grab the CSS from the session notes below. You'll notice I've added a div.module_menu. You'll need to grab these images from the notes below as well. Alright, so let's put the rounded borders around who's online. So to do that, go into our administrative interface, find our who's online, and change the suffix to _menu. Hit save, come back over, hit refresh, and now we have who's online, and it's a little bit messed up. So let's see if we can fix this. Let's turn on Firebug and see what we see here. So line 152, and let's give that some padding. And see what happens. Almost. Let's give it a little bit more padding. There we go. That's not too bad. We've put some padding on the left. We've moved the title over a little bit. Let's put that back a little bit. We've got our H3 as color as white. That's good. Let's get rid of that padding. It'll move that back over. And now our inside is good and our title is good as well. So that's rounded corners. There are some other great ways to do this. In the session notes below, there is a tutorial using better CSS and one image to do rounded corners. Really encourage you to check that out. It's not hard, and I really think it probably does a better job than what we've just shown you here. But this is the Joomla way, and this is what comes with the basic templates. So that's advanced technique in styling our modules. Let's move on. Next up, some more advanced CSS techniques that are specific to Joomla.